All right, so we're starting off today with a run to the hardware store. I have this massive project that I want to do to the boat, but to make that happen, I need some supplies. Hardware store is about 6 miles away and all I have is a bike, so I'm going to pedal my way over there. It's kind of a sketchy road. There are no sidewalks once I get past this point. Cars kind of flying down this road, but it's what I got to do to get over there to pay for all of the stuff that I need, and then hopefully they'll be able to deliver it because I need quite a bit of stuff. All right, well, I think that was a successful mission, getting all of these supplies that I need. Hopefully it'll get delivered soon. He said about an hour, so time to jump back on the bike, ride down this sketchy road. So let me explain to you guys what I am doing, what this massive project is. Well, besides everything else that we're fixing on the boat, we are going to extend the boat. We're going to make it longer by about 3 feet. So the back of the boat here, where the steps down to the water are, that's called the sugar scoop or the transom. And we're going to lengthen those a lot. The idea behind that is a longer water line gives you better speed, better performance, and it stops the boat from kind of hobby horsing, where you get this weird movement under unfavorable seas. That really helps out with that longer water line as well. And on this boat, the bottom step is actually very low and very close to the water. And when you're sailing, that step is almost always just buried in the water. So there's more drag. It's just really slowing you down. So we're gonna stretch it. And that's not gonna be easy. It's a huge job, but I feel like I can do it, even though I haven't really done much composite work before. I saw a lot of pictures about how guys have done this before and different ways to do it, not just on this boat, but on other boats. And I've also spoken to quite a few people who have done it, and they said everything was positive. There was nothing negative about what they did, but it has to be done right, obviously, because you can mess it up and cause some issues. First step is we're going to take this regular plywood and some of these rough 2x4s. It's going to be heavy. And we're going to turn them into a table. Yeah. That way we can have a big workbench here under the boat for basically everything we need to do, whether it's cleaning up something, constructing something, fiberglassing. Either way, we need a table, because otherwise without a table workbench, it's just going to take longer to do everything and some things just won't work out. So we got some plywood and some screws. So that should be nice. It doesn't look very what?
It doesn't look splintery at all.
It's actually a pretty nice piece of plywood, huh? Yeah. Marine plywood right there. So that is for boat construction stuff.
So we're going to take the top sheet of plywood and make a table?
Yes. Let me go get some tools. So 6? Because we're at 4 right now. Working at 5. From here. This is going to set us up to get this piece in the right spot. Well, here it is. The table is basically done now. I'm gonna flip it over and see how it looks and hope that I got the height right and it's actually comfortable to work at. If it's not, at least I can just cut the legs down a little bit and shrink the table down. But came together pretty quick, and I think it's gonna be pretty sturdy and it's gonna work for what I need it to do. It's a little bit too tall, but better too tall than too short, because I can cut some off. So we're just gonna flip it back on its side and cut a couple inches off, and then I think it'll be just where I want it.
I figured it was a perfect time to introduce today's sponsor, Huel. I've been drinking Huel Black Edition for almost a year now, and it fits seamlessly into my mornings. I'm not a big breakfast guy, but the Huel Black Edition has really helped give me the energy that I need in the morning to get going, to do all the boat work or whatever else I need to do. But now Huel has something else for you guys. They have Black Edition that is ready to drink. Huel Black Edition ready to drink is the ultimate meal bottled for your convenience. It has everything that you love about Huel Black Edition powder, but in a handy, ready-to-go bottle. Starting at just $4.83 per bottle, it is an inexpensive way to get a quality meal. There are so many delicious flavors to choose from, but my favorite is the iced coffee. So go to Huel.com and use code ESSADV15 for 15% off your first order of $75 or more, and get yourself some Huel Black Edition ready to drink.
More money has been spent. I just went over here to Mark One and bought fiberglass and some foam board and a few other things. They're gonna deliver that tomorrow. All right, let's head back to the boat before I spend more money. It's raining a lot all of a sudden. It was like dry a couple minutes ago and then it just started pouring. Look, it's coming off the back of the boat here. Did you get a little wet?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I mocked it up a bit so I can kind of show you guys what the idea is. The shape of the hull is kind of flat, and then it starts to curve up slowly, and then it gets closer to the end and it actually increases, so it's got more angle over here. So we're gonna take that point from right by the rudder and extend it out all the way to that tape line. So from here to here is about a meter, so a little over 3 feet. That's going to give us a much longer water line. More of the boat will be in the water, and it'll give us more stability and more speed. We're going to come up with it here, and we're going to delete this whole lower step. So we're actually going to come off from there all the way out here, and then build this flat portion in the back of the boat rather than having this little thing with this rail. Also, yeah, I want to get rid of this rubber thing here that just gets super dirty. And then we'll move this ladder up and obviously back here so it'll still work. And if I need to, I'll extend the ladder because obviously it won't be as deep. It's going to be up a step. So if we need to, I'll just add another bit of tubing on there and another piece of teak to make that step. The other thing I'm going to do is get rid of these original dinghy davits. So that's these big fiberglass things that are coming off that are bolted to the bottom of the boat that hang the dinghy, that lift the dinghy out of the water. Those don't need to be here anymore. They're big, they're heavy. Now that we have a solar arch, and I'm going to modify the solar arch also because we're going to get, I'm going to modify the solar arch also because we are going to get new solar panels, much bigger, higher output solar panels. So I'm going to have to build off of this. It's a nice structure, so I'm not going to change it completely. Plus, materials are really expensive here, so I don't want to just throw this whole thing away and start from scratch. But looking at it, I think I can modify it and make it look really nice, and it'll be really strong, and it'll hold the dinghy, and we can just ditch those things. So those are coming off and going in the scrap bin. It's also got like a seat over there and the swing down thing that's supposed to be like some sort of swim step. It was a kind of a charter boat idea, more area for people to hang out in and drag their feet in the water when you're sitting at anchor. But we're not gonna be doing that. Plus, if we build these extensions and we have these bigger swim platforms on the back of the boat, you can sit back there and dangle your feet in the water if you want. We'll get rid of all that heavy stuff that's just completely unnecessary. Well, we just finished getting the dinghy down and we got it covered up with a tarp and got it all wrapped up and secured over here. And then all of a sudden it just starts pouring again. This rain makes it really hard to get work done on the top side of the boat, but at least down here with the new bench and everything, it's dry except for the floor. It gets a bit muddy. Well, since the rain is just not stopping, I don't want to wait for the weather to be good because who knows when that's going to happen. So I'm kind of building a little shelter. I got a tarp and I got some rope and got it strung out over there so I can put a tarp over here and cover this whole area. And that way, at least I can work down there and stay somewhat dry and keep all of the materials and everything dry as well, so I can lay up fiberglass and grind and everything and not just be out in the rain. Well, it's finally dry and it looks like it's gonna be clear for a while and we won't get any rain tonight. So I think now is the time to start patching up this giant hole in our roof. It's dark and all I have is a headlamp, but I'm gonna, well, make it work. I just measured out what kind of pieces I need for here. So I'm gonna cut a few pieces of plywood and then cut some of the foam strips, get some fiberglass cut, get everything ready so I can just come up here and mix the resin and get it all ready and get this hole fixed so it stops leaking. I've got the foam laid out. I'm also gonna cut the plywood and we've got this thing that I got as a straight edge because that's all I could find. I'm gonna measure this and then hopefully cut it with a razor blade. So hopefully that will just cut right through it. And this foam is like really dense and it's closed cell, but this will, well, it'll be a good kind of filler foam to use for the edges where I can't get the plywood to actually tuck under. So I want to fill all that in and not have any voids in the fiberglass. So I think this will work great for that.
Oh, that's cool. This stuff is really easy to shape.
Yeah, it's nice. So up here on top, it's kind of rough and we've still got the wood back here and that's all dried out and it looks good, but I want to fill this void that's about this thick. So I'm trimming this piece up and I'm gonna get that to kind of fit flush in there so there isn't just like big air pockets. Kind of like make it as solid as possible. That'll go in there. I think I'm gonna split this plywood into maybe a couple strips to get it to kind of go better to the shape of the roof because it does have a little bit of curvature on it. So that'll make it lay down a bit flatter and probably just overall fit a bit better and really get it nice and tight. That. All right.
Ooh, that's thick.
Yeah, nice and thick. This should make a good glue.
One day he will. Add that piece in.
Holes on the weekend. Maybe during busy season.
So now you're filling all of the holes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go through and kind of fill these holes up just to get some resin in there. I taped the other side of these holes from inside of the boat so none of this resin will drip down,
Oh, good call.
fall through.
Have resin icicles hanging down the front.
Yeah, well, unfortunately they'd probably just be clumps that fell onto our table and our couch.
It's fine though. He said as long as you don't get it in your eyes, you should survive. Ew, oozy.
I'm gonna put more layers. Right now I'm just trying to seal all the air gaps over here.
Oh, so you're gonna make more resin once this dries?
Yes, there's more layers to this.
Can I help you? Makes it look so neat. I love it.
So I've got all the pieces of foam now cut for the top. I'm actually not going to use any more wood because 2 layers of the wood is going to be too thick, and then I won't be able to put enough layers of fiberglass down on top. This foam is the same thickness as the fiberglass. Sorry, it's the same thickness as the wood, but the foam is really easy to sand. So I'll be able to sand it all down, kind of drop it down another 1/4 inch or so, get it nice and smooth, and then I'll grind the edge of the fiberglass all the way around here and get a taper on it, and then I can start putting layers of fiberglass over the top and build that thickness back up on the top of the deck here.
I think this is a new definition of umbrella girl.
That'll help keep the water out of here because it's just starting to rain. Get this all spread out. While I'm waiting for that resin to set, I'm back here on the deck and I'm gonna start pulling off these handrails from both sides and the swim ladder and the cleat over there so I can clear all the space that I need to start doing the sugar scoop extensions. This rail was actually extended, so this is a lot longer than it was from the factory. It was cut somewhere around here, and this portion of it, you can see maybe there's a little bit of a line there, but this bit was actually welded up here and went down there, and that's where it ended. So the previous owner added that extra bit, which is really nice, but right now it's in the way because this is going to get raised up and brought all the way out. So I've got to move this section of it. Unfortunately, where it goes here into the deck, I don't think those bolts are easily accessible. I'm gonna go down and check it out and see if I can reach those, but if I can't, then I might just cut it in the same spot where it was cut before and then just weld it up when I get this all done, because I'm gonna have to change the base right here. I'm gonna move this whole thing up, so it'll be like this section here all the way down rather than having that cut out there. That'll also get rid of this rubber trim piece that is just kind of a pain to keep nice. Ditch that thing, bring all that out, go from the second step up here out. It's going to be a bit of work, but I think it's going to make a huge improvement to the boat. Like I said, it's just going to be a lot more user-friendly in the back when we're getting in and out of the water or getting in and out of the dinghy. I decided not to cut this rail right now, so I'm just going to take it off complete one piece. I was able to get to the bottom of this inside of Aria's room. There's a little panel that slides off and I could reach those bolts. So I'm gonna go in there right now and unbolt that and then take this whole side off. I also figured that rebedding this with new glue is gonna be good. As I can see over here, it looks like it's probably not gonna seal for that much longer. So while I'm taking everything else apart, might as well just unbolt that, take this whole side off, not have to cut it, even though I'm gonna have to cut the bottoms to make it fit back on, well, after I rebuild everything on the sugar scoop, but it just makes it one less cut that's gonna be kind of hard to line up. It's almost out. It's just stuck into that one kind of slide in place fitting. And for whatever reason, the original section of this is like a nut welded inside a washer, so there's bolts that are coming up from the bottom, which seems kind of odd. The aftermarket stuff that was done later, they have studs or basically bolts welded in there, so they line up in those holes. These ones are going to be a real pain to line up and get back in place later. So what I'll probably do is just buy some bolts, cut them down, and red Loctite them in place so they are studs also, and hopefully that will make things easier. This tubing is like, it's really flexible. It's just 1 inch 0.65, so having to bend it around a little bit to get it to drop in place won't be that big of a deal. But thinking ahead and trying to line it all up later, that might be the way to go. Yeah, well, in true Trinidad fashion, it started raining. I was actually in the middle of getting another coat on top and filling in all the gaps and everything, so it's all the way filled with no air gaps, and then it started raining. That milky bit is from water actually getting in the resin before it cured. It is hard. It's not soft at all, but I'm still going to sand that back down when I'm ready to put that layer, first layer of fiberglass. It's actually going to be 4 layers of fiberglass that's going to go on here. So it's hard to see in the video, but this is sunk down quite a bit. And we'll do layers of fiberglass on top of that to build the strength back in the roof, and it'll be bonded to the original fiberglass, so it will be nice and strong when it's all done. It's been a big hassle with all the rain that we've had, and you can't just like work on it and get it done. It's like work on it for a while, seal it back up because the rain comes, peel it off, let the sun heat it all back up, and then come back to another layer. It's been a lot of work, but let me go show you guys what I've done over here on the back of the boat to try to prevent that when I'm actually doing the Transom sugar scoop extensions. I cannot have it get wet, and I can't deal with the rain, so I built a kind of a shed over there. Let me show you. So here's the makeshift shelter to try to keep the rain off of this side, this sugar scoop. This is the one I'm going to start with, so I've already dropped the rudder down, moved that out of the way, and as you can see, they've started scraping off and removing the bottom paint. So they've got a lot of work to do still, and they've only got one side of the boat done, and it's not even done yet. That's a nasty job and tons of work. There's 4 people working on it, and they've been on it all day long, but they've got probably another day at least on this hull, and then another couple days to do the other side. So next week, I'm gonna start on this project, extending the sugar scoop. It's gonna be about this much longer. We're gonna add 3 feet to the back of the boat here, and I have this idea in my head of how to do it all. I hope you guys are really excited about it, because I'm excited about it. It's a huge project. It is a massive undertaking, and I'm working out here in a boatyard with just a bench and some really basic tools. So it's gonna be a challenge for sure, but I'm really excited to get started on this and see this whole 3-foot extension be built onto the back of the boat. And hopefully, in my mind, what I see will match up to what I can actually do in reality. Thanks guys, and we'll see you next week.